Imagine your phone rings. It's late, maybe a Tuesday night. The house is quiet and you're just winding down. You look at the screen. It's a number you know. Maybe it's your daughter, your spouse, or your elderly parent. You slide to answer, expecting a quick check-in, but what you hear isn't a hello. It's screaming. It's panic. You hear a voice, distinct, unmistakable, a voice you have known your entire life, crying out for help. They say they've been in a car accident, or maybe they've been arrested, or worse, there's a stranger on the line saying they've been kidnapped, and then you hear that familiar voice again, begging you to do whatever the stranger says. Your stomach drops, your heart hammers against your ribs like a trapped bird. The logical part of your brain shuts down, and the primal protective instinct takes over. You need to fix this. You need to pay the bail, send the wire transfer, buy the gift cards, whatever crazy demand they make. You are ready to do it, because that is your flesh and blood on the line. Here is the terrifying reality. That voice, it wasn't them. Your daughter is asleep in her dorm room. Your spouse is stuck in traffic. Your parent is watching television. You didn't speak to a human. You spoke to a ghost in the machine. You just had a conversation with an artificial intelligence that stole your loved one's identity in less time than it takes to tie your shoes. Welcome to the new frontier of digital deception. We used to worry about someone stealing our credit card numbers or hacking our email passwords. Those days seem almost quaint now. Today, the asset they are coming for is much more personal. They are coming for your biology. They are coming for your voice. And the scariest part? They only need 3 seconds of audio to own it. Let's be real about where we are right now. We are living through a moment in history where seeing is no longer believing and hearing is no longer proof. For decades, the telephone was our lifeline to the truth. If you heard someone, you knew they were there. But generative artificial intelligence has shattered that trust. We aren't talking about those old, robotic, clunky text-to-speech programs that sounded like a broken global positioning system. You know the ones where the intonation was all wrong and the jokes fell flat. That technology is a relic. We are now dealing with neural networks and deep learning models that can analyze the microscopic nuances of human speech. They capture the breath between words, the vocal fry at the end of a sentence, the specific regional accent, and even the emotional timbre of a person in distress. So how does this actually work? How do we go from a harmless Instagram story to a bank-draining nightmare? It starts with data. And here is the uncomfortable truth. We are the ones feeding the beast. Every time we upload a video to social media, every time we record a podcast, every time we answer a spam call and say, "Hello, who is this?" we are broadcasting our biometric data to the world. In the past, cloning a voice took hours of studio recording. Today, your public profile is their recording booth. That birthday vlog, that quick story update, that podcast guest spot, it's all they need. In some terrifying cases, if you pick up a call from an unknown number and speak for just a few seconds, that is enough. The artificial intelligence analyzes the waveform of your voice, maps the pitch, the cadence, and the frequency, and builds a digital model. Once that model exists, the scammer can type anything into a keyboard and your voice will say it. They can make you say you love them. They can make you say you hate them. Or most profitably, they can make you authorize a transfer of $50,000. This is the 3 seconds rule. And here is the terrifying part. The technology isn't the real weapon. You are. They aren't just hacking code. They are hacking your biology. These scammers aren't just tech wizards. They are master manipulators. They know that artificial intelligence voice cloning isn't perfect yet. If you sat down and listened to a deepfake audio clip on high-quality headphones, analyzing it for 5 minutes, you might hear the glitches. You might hear a metallic twang in the background or a slight unnatural pause. That is why they don't give you 5 minutes. They don't give you silence. They give you chaos. Think back to the scenario I started with, the screaming, the panic, the car crash background noise. This is called cognitive overloading. The scammers intentionally degrade the audio quality with fake sirens, wind noise, or static. They do this for 2 reasons. First, it masks the imperfections in the artificial intelligence voice. If the voice sounds a little robotic, your brain writes it off as a bad connection or the result of the chaos. Second, and more importantly, it hijacks your amygdala, the lizard brain responsible for the fight or flight response. When you think your child is hurt, you cannot think critically. You cannot analyze the spectral frequency of the audio. You just react. The scammers are banking on your humanity being your biggest weakness.
Now, you might be thinking, I'm smart, I wouldn't fall for a kidnapping scam, and maybe you wouldn't, but the technology is evolving faster than our skepticism. We are seeing a massive shift toward high-level corporate fraud. Imagine you are at work. You get a call from the chief executive officer. You recognize the voice. It's authoritative, a little impatient, exactly like he sounds in the quarterly Zoom meetings. He tells you there's a confidential acquisition happening, time is of the essence, and you need to wire funds to a new vendor immediately. He says, I'm trusting you to handle this discreetly. What do? Do you question the boss? Do you risk stalling a major deal? Or do you do what you're paid to do? There have been documented cases where companies have lost tens of millions of dollars because an employee believed they were talking to a superior. In one famous case, a bank manager in Hong Kong authorized a transfer of $35 million because he recognized the voice of the company director. It wasn't him. It was code. It was pixels and sound waves arranged to steal a fortune. This brings us to a critical realization. We have built our entire security infrastructure around identity verification that is now obsolete. Think about it. When you call your bank, how do they verify you? Sometimes they ask for a personal identification number, but often they use voice ID. They say, my voice is my password. That phrase is now the equivalent of writing your password on a sticky note and putting it on a park bench. If your voice can be cloned, your voice cannot be your password. We are entering an era where biometric data, your face, your voice, your fingerprint, is compromised. You can change a password. You can cancel a credit card. You cannot change your voice. Once that biometric data is out there, it is out there forever. It sounds like science fiction, but unfortunately, it is science fact. So, do we panic? No, panic is useless. We upgrade. We don't need a cabin in the woods. We need a zero-trust shield. The answer is upgrading your mental software to match the threat. We need to move from a mindset of blind trust to a mindset of zero trust. This doesn't mean becoming paranoid. It means becoming prepared.
So let's build your shield. How do you protect yourself, your family, and your bank account from a thief who wears your face and speaks with your voice? The most powerful tool you have costs $0 and requires zero technical skill. It is an old-school spy technique that works perfectly in the digital age, the safe word. Every family, every close circle of friends, and even key business partners need a challenge and response phrase. This is a word or a short phrase that you never share on social media, you never text, and you never use in casual conversation. If your daughter calls you from an unknown number saying she's been arrested, you ask for the safe word. If the voice on the other end is an artificial intelligence, the scammer won't know it. They will try to deflect. They'll scream, I can't remember, I'm scared, just help me. But you must hold the line. No safe word, no action. It stops the emotional hijack instantly. It forces the logic back into the driver's seat. If you don't have a safe word established and you get that terrifying call, there is another tactic, the hang up and call back. It feels counterintuitive. If someone is screaming for help, hanging up feels like abandonment. But you must remember, phone numbers can be spoofed. Your caller identifier might say mom, but that's just data sent by the scammer. By hanging up and dialing the number you have saved in your contacts, you are breaking the connection with the attacker and establishing a line to the real person. If they are actually in trouble, they will answer, or the police will answer. If it was a scam, you will likely get their voicemail, or they'll pick up casually wondering why you're calling. Let's go deeper. We need to talk about your digital footprint. I know everyone says check your privacy settings, but seriously, check your privacy settings. If your Instagram or Facebook profile is public, you are providing an all-you-can-eat buffet for data scrapers. If you have videos of yourself speaking on a public profile, you are vulnerable. Consider locking your accounts to friends and family only.
If you are a public figure, an entrepreneur, or someone who needs to be public for work, you have to accept that your voice is out there. In that case, your defense cannot be obscurity, it must be verification. This means you need to enable two-factor authentication on everything, but you need to move away from short message service text messages. Short message service is vulnerable to subscriber identity module swapping. Use an authenticator app or a physical security key. Why does this matter for voice scams? Because often these voice scams are the final step in a larger hack. They might use a voice clone to trick a phone provider into resetting your password. If you have a physical key or an app-based code, their voice tricks won't get them far.
Now, let's look at the corporate side. If you run a business or manage finances, you need to banish voice approval from your workflow. No amount of money should ever be moved based on a phone call alone. Implement a multi-channel verification policy. If the chief executive officer calls and asks for a wire transfer, the policy should require a confirmation via an encrypted messaging app like Signal, or an internal email, or better yet, a face-to-face confirmation. Scammers hate friction. They thrive on speed. If you build friction into your financial processes, you break their business model. We also need to talk about the liar's dividend. This is a concept that is going to become very important in the next few years. As people become more aware of deepfakes, bad actors will start getting caught doing bad things, caught on tape, caught on hot mics, and they will claim, "That wasn't me, that was a deepfake." This creates a double-edged sword. We risk living in a world where we believe fake things are real and real things are fake. To navigate this, we have to become active listeners. When you are watching a video or listening to audio that seems shocking, controversial, or urgent, look for the artifacts. In video deepfakes, look at the blinking, look at the mouth movements. Do the lips actually sync with the P and B sounds? In audio, listen for the breath. Artificial intelligence is getting better at inserting fake breaths, but often the rhythm is just slightly off. It's too regular. It lacks the messy, organic chaos of a real human struggling to find a word. But we cannot rely solely on our senses forever. The technology is getting too good. Eventually, the artificial intelligence will be indistinguishable from reality to the naked ear. That is why we are seeing a rise in watermarking and cryptographic signatures for content. In the near future, authentic content from news organizations or verified creators will likely carry a digital signature proving it hasn't been altered. Until that becomes the standard, however, you are the firewall.
Let's zoom out for a moment. Why is this happening? Why is it so easy? It's because the tools to create these deepfakes are open source and widely available. You don't need to be a coder anymore. You can download an app, pay a monthly subscription, and start cloning voices. This democratization of high-end spy tech means that the threat isn't just coming from state-sponsored hackers, it's coming from bored teenagers, jealous ex-partners, and petty criminals. There is a disturbing trend called virtual kidnapping that targets the most vulnerable among us. Scammers are now scraping data from travel posts. They see you posting photos from a vacation in Mexico or Thailand. They know you're in a different time zone. They know your parents back home are worried. That is when they strike. They call your parents, use a clone of your voice, and claim you've been taken. Your parents can't reach you because you're on a flight or out of service. The timing is calculated. The precision is military grade. Your memories are precious to you, but to a scammer, they're just global positioning system coordinates for a ransom call. We need to rethink how we post. Share the trip, absolutely, but share it on a delay. Don't give them a live map to your family. Don't give them the script for their next play. We also have to talk about the emotional toll. Falling for one of these scams is devastating. It's not just the money, it's the violation. Victims often feel a deep sense of shame. They feel stupid for being tricked. If this happens to you or someone you know, you have to understand this is not your fault. You are up against a supercomputer designed to exploit millions of years of evolutionary biology. Our brains are hardwired to trust our tribe. We are social animals. The artificial intelligence exploits the very thing that makes us human, our empathy and our connection to one another. So do not let shame silence you. If you encounter a deepfake attempt, report it. Tell your friends, share the story. The more we talk about the mechanics of these scams, the less effective they become. Scams thrive in the shadows. They rely on ignorance. When you shine a light on the tactic, when you tell your grandma, "Hey, if I ever call you asking for money, hang up and call me back," you are inoculating your circle against the virus.
There is a silver lining here. As we become more aware of artificial intelligence manipulation, we might actually start to value authentic, in-person connection more. We might stop relying so heavily on digital intermediaries and start prioritizing face-to-face trust. But until we reach that equilibrium, you have to be vigilant. Let's recap the battle plan. 1. Establish a safe word with your family today, tonight, at the dinner table. Make it something funny, something weird, something you will remember. 2. Lock down your social media. Stop feeding the artificial intelligence your biometric data. 3. Never trust the caller identifier. It is a lie. 4. Verify, verify, verify. If money is involved, slow down, break the urgency. The technology isn't going away. We cannot put the genie back in the bottle. The algorithms will get faster, smarter, and cheaper. But here is the thing about artificial intelligence. It lacks a soul. It lacks intuition. It lacks that gut feeling you get when something is wrong. You still have that. You are the final line of defense. They can steal your voice, they can spoof your face, but they cannot replicate your intuition if you stay calm and stay alert. The next time the phone rings and the world feels like it's ending on the other end of the line, take a breath, pause, ask yourself, is this real or is this the simulation trying to break in? Don't be a victim of the 3-second heist. Be the person who hangs up, calls back, and breaks the scammer's script. The digital world is wild and it's getting wilder, but you're smarter than the code. Stay sharp, stay safe, and watch out for the ghosts in the machine. This isn't just about protecting your bank account, it's about protecting your reality, because in a world of deepfakes, the truth is the most valuable currency we have left. Don't let them steal it. Think about the implications of this for a moment. We are moving into an election cycle or a new corporate quarter or just the holiday season. The volume of these attacks is going to spike. We've seen it happen historically. Whenever there is global tension or economic uncertainty, scams skyrocket. And now they have a tool that scales infinitely. A single scammer used to be able to make maybe 100 calls a day. With artificial intelligence automation, a single laptop can generate 10,000 calls an hour, each one personalized, each one sounding like a different person's grandchild or bank manager. That scale is what makes this an emergency. It's a numbers game. Even if 99% of people hang up, that 1% who panic and pay is enough to fund the operation for the next year. This is an industry. It has customer service, it has tech support, it has research and development departments. You need to treat your personal security with the same seriousness that they treat their criminal enterprise. And it's not just the phone. We are seeing the rise of audio jacking in live meetings. Imagine you are on a Discord channel or Teams meeting. You step away for a coffee. A hacker could theoretically intercept the stream, inject a deep fake audio overlay, and have you agree to something while you're in the kitchen. This is the bleeding edge of the threat landscape. It reinforces the need for multi-factor authentication, not just for logging in, but for high-stakes decision-making. We also need to consider the legal landscape. Right now, the laws are playing catch-up. Is it illegal to clone a voice? In many places, it's a gray area. If you use it to steal, that's fraud. But the act of creating the clone itself? The regulations are thin. You cannot wait for the government to pass a law to protect you. By the time the legislation is signed, the technology will have jumped 2 generations forward. You have to be your own regulator. You have to be your own security chief. Let's look at the positive side of artificial intelligence for a second, just to be fair. This same technology is giving voices back to people who lost them to amyotrophic Lou Gehrig's disease or throat cancer. It's allowing independent creators to dub their videos into 50 languages to reach the world. The technology itself is neutral. It is a hammer. You can use a hammer to build a house, or you can use it to break a window. The scammers are breaking windows. It is up to us to put up the shutters. You might be wondering, is there any software I can buy to detect this? There are startups working on deepfake detection apps. They run in the background and analyze incoming audio for those micro-signatures of artificial intelligence generation. This is a growing market. In the near future, your phone might come with a truth filter built in, flashing a red light when it detects synthetic audio. But we aren't there yet, and even when we are, it will be an arms race. The detectors will get better, so the fakes will get worse. Relying on a software patch to solve a human problem is risky.
Your brain is still the best detector, provided you keep it out of panic mode.
Let's reinforce the social engineering aspect one last time. Deepfakes are rarely used in isolation. They are the closer. The setup is usually data gathering. They send you a phishing email to get your phone number. They view your LinkedIn to see who your boss is. They check your Facebook to see who your grandma is. This is a puzzle they are assembling. If you deny them the pieces, they cannot build the picture. Be unpredictable. Don't use the same password everywhere. Don't answer every quiz on social media that asks, what was the name of your first pet? Which, by the way, is a common security question. When you tighten up your digital hygiene, you make yourself a hard target. Scammers are lazy. They want low-hanging fruit. If they try to clone your voice but can't find clear audio, or they call you and you demand a safe word, they will move on. They will look for an easier victim. Don't be the easy victim. This is a call to action, not just for you, but for your community. Talk to your parents, talk to your kids, show them examples of deepfakes, let them hear how real it sounds. Play a game, Can You Spot the Robot? Normalizing the skepticism. Make it a topic of conversation, so that when the phone rings at 2 a.m., the first thought isn't panic, the first thought is check. We are living in the age of the synthetic. It's scary, yes, but it's also manageable. We have faced telephone scams before. We faced email scams. We faced identity theft. We adapted. We learned. We survived. This is just the next level of the game. The graphics are better, the sound is realistic, but the mechanics are the same. A stranger wants what is yours. Don't give it to them. Your voice is unique. It is your signature. It is the sound of your personality. Protect it like you protect your home, because in this brave new world, your voice is the key to your castle. Keep the gates locked. Stay vigilant. Trust but verify. And remember, 3 seconds is all they need, but one smart decision is all you need to stop them. You've got this. Now go set that safe word.